Call to order. Pursuant to the Open Public Meeting Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in accordance with the law. Can you please rise for the flag salute?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lisa, can I have a roll call, please? Commissioner Kriebel?
Here.
Commissioner Landgraf?
Here.
Mayor Holtzman? Here. We do not have any department reports tonight, correct? No department heads? Okay. The next, we do not have any presentations.
Nope.
And we are not discussing capital this evening, correct?
Yep.
Okay. The following items are scheduled for action at our regular meeting immediately following our workshop. We have no minutes to approve. We have no ordinances to introduce, but we do have adoption of ordinances and public hearings. We'll just go run by them real quick. These were discussed at our last meeting, correct?
Yes.
All right, so the first one's ordinance 2000-18-043, and that is amending chapter 126, the flood hazard areas. That's just the,
Some definitions.
the definitions.
Rewording of some of the language. The main thing was a lateral addition. We've defined what a lateral addition is.
Okay. Anything else to be discussed on that? No? Okay. Next item is an ordinance of the City of Ventnor amending Chapter 149 of the Code of the City of Ventnor requiring certain rental units to obtain mercantile licenses.
Correct.
That's it.
That's less than 30 days. They will have to now register, get a mercantile license so we know where they are. It'll help us track them. Not only discourage the short-term rental market, as they will, as they're called, Airbnb, vacation rental by owner, those types of things. This is something we came up with through Tim's office to try and help us curb any issues we're having with the very few of them. We have a lot of them here in the city.
Just a few
And
problems.
the few are the problem areas. So we're going to be able to know who these owners are and track them through that. And if they have bad tenants or don't meet our noise ordinances or whatever,
We pulled the license.
we can pull a license. So that's an option. It gives us that option that we have some recourse. Right now, we don't know where most of these things are.
So if nothing else, the first step is it allows us to identify who they are, so if something happens, we can communicate with them.
Right.
Okay. Tim, you okay?
Yeah.
Next is ordinance 2018-045, and that is an ordinance authorizing 2019 through to 2022 salary and wages and compensation for members of the Ventnor City Lifeguard. We're good? We'll discuss that. The next is ordinance 2018-46, and this is amending chapter 122 fire prevention, article 3. And these are we increase fees.
We added fees.
We added
We
fees.
increased slightly the main fee, but we added for
I think the next
use
one's
of
added.
certain items. We never used to bill for Narcan, EpiPen, oxygen,
Is that
neck
this
braces.
resolution or the next one, Maria?
That's this one.
That's this one.
This one?
Yeah.
The next
Okay.
one is on the.
So this allows us to bill for the use of those items, which are one-time uses, and it's something the
Right.
city pays for, and the insurance will pay
Exactly.
Right.
for.
Exactly.
Narcan, EpiPen, and AED. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So we added them. And then we increased the other things.
The one fee,
The one-time fee,
to go to the site and transport to the hospital, or to,
Oxygen is increased a little bit.
yes,
but this is in line with other municipalities.
yes.
In some cases, we did not have them at all. And so these are things that we, as a city, were taking on financially, and it's something that insurance companies typically pay for.
Right.
So it's a good, it's a good control.
It helps balance out the costs in the budget for these items.
Right. The next one, 2018-047, is additional inspection and fees, correct?
Yes.
That's
These are fire
for fire
inspections.
prevention.
Yes.
They increased each type, am I right? Yeah. Proportionately by the fees schedule. Okay. Okay. So after we have our public hearings on them, Then we will have resolutions that we will adopt by consent. I'll run through them quickly because most of them are self-explanatory. The first one's a resolution, Resolution 2018-407, and this is authorizing the city to enter into a co-op for our ambulances, Maria?
Mhm.
The vehicles?
To make a purchase off a co-op.
Off of a co-op in Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
I know.
It's nationwide, but it's.
Exactly.
Okay.
But the co-op gives us less expensive.
Buying power.
Exactly. That's great. And we can do that because we have a certified purchasing agent,
Mhm.
which is nice.
And we're due for a new ambulance.
Good. Yes. Okay. You go with that, Nan?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Next resolution, 2018-408, is a tax abatement for 200 North Surrey Avenue. I don't think we need to discuss
There's
that.
a bunch of those.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. The next, 2018-410, is a tax abatement for 228 North Oxford Avenue. The next is resolution 2018-411, which is a tax abatement for 116 South Weymouth Avenue.
You missed one.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, I said
Four,
two.
408 you missed. Or
No.
409 you missed.
I missed 409.
5401, non.
Sorry. 218-4, I skipped the number. My brain said I skipped the number, but tax abatement for 5401 Monmouth Avenue. I'm sorry. Now I'll go back to where I was. 2018-412 is a tax abatement for Newport Avenue. 2018-413 is a tax abatement for 111 South Troy Avenue. Resolution 2018-414 is an authorization to refund for a tax overpayment. I think that's, I don't have to explain that, right? We're good? Next resolution is 2018-415, and this is refunding Norman Lance Jr. and Eileen Sobel-Lance $80 from our recreation fund because they did not make the New York City holiday trip.
Correct.
Next resolution, 2018-416, is a transfer of appropriations. That was only, it was a minor one, 600 and something dollars.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's mostly in taxes.
Okay, the next resolution, where am I? 2018-417, and this is for authorizing us to go into a shared service agreement with the City of Margate, Margate Board of Ed, City of Ventnor, Ventnor City Board of Ed, and Atlantic County Improvement Authority. And this is for an energy saving program, correct, Maria?
Yes.
And we will only do this if the savings is worth or will pay for the improvements, correct?
Correct.
You go with that, Ann?
Yes, it looks like we're the lead on this.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
All
good.
right, we're good? Okay. Next is 2018-418, another tax abatement for 104 South Nashville Avenue. Resolution 2018-419 is a tax abatement for 114 North Baltimore Avenue. Resolution 2018-420 is a tax abatement for 910 North Harvard Avenue. The next one is Resolution 2018-421, and that is amending Resolution 335 of 2018, authorizing the emergency repair of Monmouth Avenue. That was the big one, correct, Lance?
Yes.
Yes, $170,368.80.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, that one hurt.
That really hurt.
So just a quick explanation of what that was. We had a sewer main break, road caved in, so we went in to repair that sewer line. Had the road excavated, we're working through that process. We had one of those nor'easters where we flooded, that entire street flooded, undermined the water main. It's a 100-year-old cast iron water main, and it sagged. Well, cast iron doesn't bend, so it snapped. So that started spewing water for about 12 hours until we could get the valve shut off and called in. It was we had to do a wet tap insertion valve, and it cost that much money. So we have old infrastructure. This stuff happens.
Yeah.
So, and our guys are ready for it. We have the consultants. We bring in Arthur Henry, and these guys that did the insertion. I watched it. it's one of the neatest things you ever get to watch. I mean, it's pretty cool to see. Kevin was out there. Kevin McGadden, he lives right there.
This is your information for you.
Okay, thank you.
Personally dropped
If
it
you could
off.
give that to Mr. McGuire, that'd be
I
great.
didn't want to interrupt you, I
No,
apologize.
thanks, Kevin. This is our workshop, so we're good. They actually core a hole in the water main while it's full of water. And then
And where does stop?
it's a valve, and they insert a valve, and they shut the valve down, shut the water down. It was pretty neat how they did it. They saved, they call it a chip or a cookie, and have a piece of the pipe.
You saved it?
Yeah.
Did it?
It's
Cool.
heavy. It's about that big, but it weighs about 5-6 pounds.
They let us throw it around,
Potable water. Potable water, drinking water.
okay, that's good. Here, I went so wrong. Okay,
No.
thank you for that
Yeah.
explanation. Next is resolution 2018-422. It's a resolution, City of Ventnor, County of Atlantic, State of New Jersey, accepting the resignation of Corey Suter. Then we will have approval of bills and payrolls. Any, do we have workshop items? Do we have one tonight?
We have one.
Discussion items.
I-
Do we?
Sorry
Go ahead.
to interrupt you. I gave a resolution to you that I wanted to add. I
Oh, okay.
forgot to give it to Lisa on time. It is to do the list of state contract vendors.
Okay, so Lisa, this would be resolution 23.
423.
Okay, thank you, Toro.
That's 2-0.
So our CFO gave us a resolution number 2018-423, and this is a list of all the contract vendors that we did business with in the past year.
State contract.
State contracts.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Any questions on that? No, we're good? Okay.
We want to do our discussion items, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
We have one discussion item tonight, and that is abandoned properties.
You want me to do that one?
Please.
Okay. There's a law existing in the state of New Jersey that allows certain procedures to take, which will let a municipality go into properties that are deemed abandoned and need of repair, and go in and actually take ownership of the properties and fix them up. That statute also allows the municipality to enter into an agreement with someone to take action on its behalf in that respect. Maria and I and the various professionals have been meeting with the ACIA a couple times. And what we will do, if you do not have an objection, is place on the agenda in January an ordinance that will start to formalize that process. We, working with the ACIA and Jimmy Agnesino, have already identified 5 properties that technically meet the definition of abandoned under the statute, and that the ACIA thought would be, and we thought would be, good candidates to go in and rehabilitate. The way that works is the city takes certain steps. They develop the properties, they publish a list in the paper of the properties, they notify the property owners, and at a certain point, the ball, for lack of a better term, gets passed off to the ACIA, and then they actually go into court. Now, the theory behind the entire statutory scheme is that by identifying these properties on the list, that it will encourage the property owners to come in and try to repair them themselves. However, if they don't, then it allows the city to do that. The second thought is that once the properties are rehabilitated, whether that be through the city or the property owner coming back in and doing it, it will create a chain reaction, so to speak, where the property values on that block will increase, and possibly other property owners will be encouraged to update their properties. Now, the good news is there is a procedure set forth in the statute that the property owner can always come in during the process and retake ownership of the rehabilitation process. To do that, he or she has to submit a plan to the court saying this is what we're going to do, and it has to be realistic, plus reimburse the municipality and the ACIA for any funds that are expended. If in fact the properties go through the entire process and are owned by the municipality, the end result would be to sell the property, at which time both the ACIA and the municipality will get reimbursed for any expenses that they have incurred. That's the general synopsis of the program. The ordinance, unfortunately, is very detailed. It's long. A lot of it has to do with how this process interrelates with tax sales. But unless there is some type of objection from you folks, that'll be on the agenda in January.
Okay. One question, Tim, what's the timeline once we notify the property owners that are foreclosed or abandoned, excuse me? How much time do they have to react?
I think it's 30 days. I believe they have 30 days to come in and petition to indicate that they want to be the person to rehabilitate the property and to provide a plan. Now, they have two bites to that apple. They can do that when the list is first published, and they can also do it once it gets filed with the court. So they have two opportunities to do that.
And then they can come in while the rehab is going on, but they have to show a plan.
They have to show a plan, and, well, they only have a certain amount of time.
Okay.
Then, after that, they can still come in, but they really have to show substantial reasons or good cause why the court should allow them back in at such a late date.
And at that point, they have to reimburse
That's
us.
what I was gonna ask.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so any money that was put out by the entities, they have to reimburse us.
But when we were doing this, Maria did her homework, and I believe all, if not most of these properties are ones that have had no sewer or water usage
Right.
for over 6 months.
Okay.
A couple, the bank is listed as the owner. So I imagine with the bank-owned ones, when it finally works its way up the chain of command, someone's gonna pay attention, maybe not. But it's almost, other than time and effort, it's almost a no-lose proposition.
Right.
And the way it's structured is a majority of that time and effort, after the initial publishing of the list, is gonna be through the ACIA, not us.
Right, and they'll do once this is done, they can actually go into the property, correct, and assess it and see if it makes sense that they can rehab it and sell it for the money that was put into it. But right now, they did a ride-by, but they couldn't go in it until we passed the ordinance on this. And Tim, correct me if I'm wrong, but the owner, if there is an owner, after the property is rehabbed, has the first right to kind of purchase it back?
Well, sure.
Yeah,
I mean, that would always, yes.
right. So even after it's complete, the property owner can come in first and
Right.
get it back.
Pay
for
Pay
it.
fair market
Yeah,
value. Yeah, and it's important that we be able to get in because, I don't know, I forget if it made the list, but when we were developing the list, we were looking through these houses, they look pretty some look pretty run down. There was one, and I said, well, stop, I'll live in that house. I mean, it looked nice, it looked really nice. And then, I think it was Jimmy explained,
Dino, yeah.
it had been totally flooded inside.
Right.
So it was like,
It's, yeah, like,
Not
I think it's a
possible.
3-story house
Severely
that
deteriorated.
from the top down has been totally
Sandy?
flooded.
Go back to
No.
Sandy.
no, pipes had broken in, I guess they just went left unattended for a
Yeah,
long period of
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Question, Rick, do you know by memory, the fire homes, are they in Ventnor or the Heights, or both? By memory, if you know, I'm just curious.
They're both, I believe.
Was it Sacramento? It was 103 and
There's
107.
2 in Sacramento.
Sacramento.
Did we have one on Suffolk in the Heights?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I have to look at it.
Yeah.
I think it's,
Yeah, we'll make
like
it
you say, it's a no-lose proposition.
Right, right.
I think we talked about this happening in Collingswood, where it
Yeah.
was successful. The municipality sold that house after it was rehabbed, and like you said, it takes the dog off the block, helps encourage other people to work on their homes.
For the Carol.
The city doesn't have anything to lose, other, they really, it's a win-win.
Let me ask you.
What one more question, if the property sells for more than if the city and ACIA own it, what does the balance of the revenue go? If there's more at closing than what it was worth to rehab? Is there ever?
I think after everything gets paid off, I think it does go back to the owner. But
Okay,
our conversation with the ACIA, we thought that was unlikely.
right.
Jim,
They're usually pretty far gone.
question, if these, if those homes could be owned by the bank, you mentioned that, am I right? So, like you said, it would get somebody's attention. The outcome might be, they're not gonna lose that. They'll come in and rehab it, or do something with the property,
Right.
right?
Because these properties are a point of emphasis for the people in Ventnor and for the mayor and commissioners. They're not a point of emphasis for the bank. They're one of a list of thousands that they have.
Right.
And this is a way to call their attention and say, okay, whatever, Bank of America, start paying attention to this property, because if you don't, you're gonna lose it.
Right,
Mhm.
right,
Okay.
okay, so that's good, so it hits every angle.
Right.
Yes, Tora?
So we should include in our budget money to purchase this, or no?
No, ACIA would be funding,
The ACIA would be funding it.
yes.
We would fund small things like publishing the list and other
Legal
small
fee,
things
yeah.
for it, but I don't think it's, I don't think
Publication.
it has to be an additional budget.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a
Good
program the
question.
county came to us with, ACIA came to us
Yeah.
with.
So we're good.
Or one of the only-
Actually, we called them after you guys read about Collingswood, and they
Right.
said, hey, we were just looking at this too at the same time, what a coincidence. So,
Right.
yeah,
It was
we
good
were
time.
both,
Oh,
we
I was
were both on our,
thinking of the other one. I was thinking of the.
you were thinking of the rehab,
Yes.
CDBG.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, that's right.
Yep, because you had all read about Collingswood and thought, wow, that's a success, and maybe we can do that here.
So it's taken a while, I'm glad it's up and running.
Well, we'll be in January.
Now, there is one possible downside, because I shouldn't really, there's small amounts that we have to pay to publish the list in the paper, possibly get title insurance, things like that. If ACE goes all the way through the process and a sale occurs and there's not enough money to go around, we will not recoup some of that money. But in terms of budgetary language, we're talking pennies.
And we actually get to look at that with the ACIA as well. They do an analysis of what the market value and what the potential, they do an engineering walkthrough and a contractor
Right.
walkthrough.
They have a
Like,
team.
they have a
If
team.
you remember, they're gonna have a realtor on their team, they'll have like an architect.
Right. And they will be
Engineer.
hiring the contractor,
Right.
which is the major expense.
Yeah, yeah, and so there'll be that last analysis to say, okay, of the five, this is the one
Right.
that makes sense.
Good.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
So I think it's
Seems like a
worth,
win-win.
and it's worth it.
It's a no
And you're
lose.
And you're gonna do it for our first meeting in January.
Yes,
We got to start at the beginning of the year.
yes. That'll be on for introduction.
Okay. Sounds good?
That's all I have.
Okay. Anything else? We're good? All right. Okay. So now we will go right into our regular meeting.
You want to do public comment on anything we
Oh, okay,
discussed?
that's right, sorry. Do I have a motion to open to the public to discuss anything that we will be voting on in the regular meeting? Do I have a
So
motion?
moved.
Second?
Second motion?
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
This is open to the public if you'd like to speak on anything that we'll be voting on in the next meeting.
Hi.
Hi, you come up to the microphone.
Okay. Gosh.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Just,
Long day.
I know.
Almost left.
Just state your name and your address.
My name's Kathleen Fisher, and I'm 102 North Buffalo Avenue in Ventnor. I just wanted to see, I like that you guys are putting this problem with the rental units in place. My question is, it sounded to me, and I don't have all of the information, so I'm wondering, is that going to cover more than just Airbnb?
And anyone
would be
who rents less than
however
30 days.
Okay, and then are there going to be people to actually enforce this ordinance?
Police.
Or-
Police
So it'll be up
department and our
to,
code.
okay, so everybody will be in then in all.
And understand, the ordinance that we're passing, all that does is require them to get a mercantile license.
Right,
That's no other rules that we don't already have.
right,
Our problem that we seem to be having with a lot of the short-term rentals is the generic term for all of them, because you don't want to give one more credit than the other.
right.
We all say Airbnb, and it's more than just that. It's vacation rental by owner, there's
Yeah.
another, something.
VRBO.
Home
We have
away.
a guy that uses Craigslist.
Yeah,
I
so,
mean,
So anybody who's renting their property for less than 30 days has to get a mercantile license. That way they're on our radar, we know who they are, we know who to contact
Right.
if there's an issue with the property. And then if there is an issue with the property, multiple issues, we can pull their mercantile license and they can't rent anymore.
Right, so they
That's-
have to be made to do that. If
Exactly.
they're renting for,
Exactly.
you said for less than 30?
30 days.
Yeah.
Okay,
Which is typical for those types of,
Right.
a week or weekend
right,
type
right.
rentals.
Oh, yeah,
So,
oh, yeah.
For
we
the,
know that.
And they got it out there before Airbnb existed, so
And the
that's,
majority are very nicely managed and.
oh,
and
there's
they're-
some lovely ones.
and
And the way
there's
that
nice
they're
ones.
presented is lovely. It's
Yeah.
just, we've got
Right.
these problems, you know?
and those are the ones we have to address.
Those are the ones, because, you know, like they just subdivided, I was here in the summer, they subdivided a lot.
Right.
It's next to this problem house. And there's two beautiful homes going up, and it's
Right.
gonna be a problem for the gentleman trying to sell these homes.
Right.
I mean, I literally spoke to people that came, wanted to move there so bad, but they said, what's the deal with that house? And I couldn't lie to them.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm like, this is not good for anybody. We can be bringing in some really great people,
Right.
That's
you know?
Well, hopefully
So,
this is a mechanism to put
That's
that under
great.
control. But again, and I know you're aware,
Yeah,
when you see an issue, make sure you call PD.
yeah,
If it's during the day, contact code. But anytime, call the
Okay.
police department.
okay, that's great.
She had a direct line to me too.
What's that?
You have a
okay.
direct
But I
line.
like to bother you.
There's a
But now,
direct
so
line.
if you guys were to go ahead and pass this ordinance, when would that take effect? Is that?
Immediately.
Oh, okay,
Right.
so that's
Tonight.
Approximately 30 days.
30
30
days.
days.
It's gotta be.
about 30 days, yeah.
Published.
Well, this
It has
is
to
a
be-
quiet time.
Oh, yes, exactly. So certainly by January 15th,
Okay,
you should be good.
that's great, okay, thanks.
No, no, that's wrong.
No.
Where did you start?
Wait, another quick question while you think of that.
February 1st.
Can we grandfather anybody in? I got like 100 pages on this guy.
And it doesn't matter. If he's
I
gonna
got
rent,
op reports, I got.
there's
you
no
name it, I got it.
grandfather. There's
What's
no
that? I'm sorry.
grandfather.
I'm
There's no
sorry.
grandfathering at all.
No, it's
If
just
he's
from
going
then
to
on.
rent a house at any time in the future,
She meant the,
No, I'm saying for what's been going on for the last.
again, this ordinance doesn't affect them doing
Right.
any issues.
Right.
If they're breaking the rules, that's a code and/or our police department issue.
Yeah, we've just
Either.
not been able to, it just kind of has gone on. But hopefully this plan in place is what's going to help to regulate that, so.
Okay, okay.
Thanks a lot for that.
You're welcome.
Something like that, let's say approximately from February 1st on, call.
Oh, I'll call.
Don't call, don't call.
Thanks, you guys.
Thanks for coming out.
Happy New Year.
Same to you. Anyone else from the public? No? Do I have a motion to close public portion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
second motion?
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Do I have a motion to close the workshop portion of the meeting?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we are now in our regular meeting. We do not have approval of minutes. We do not have any ordinances to introduce. So we will go to the first public hearing on 2018-043, an ordinance of the City of Ventnor, County of Atlantic, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 126 Flood Hazard Areas, Article 2, Terminology, Section 126-5, Definitions of the Code of the City of Ventnor. Do I have a motion to open to public hearing?
Motion to open public hearing on ordinance 2018-043.
Do I have a second?
Second motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
It's now open to the public. I see
Motion
no
to
one.
close.
Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next is the ordinance adoption of 2018-043. Do I have a motion to adopt the ordinance?
Motion to adopt ordinance 2018-043.
Do I have a second?
Second motion?
Lisa, roll call, please.
Commissioner Kriebel?
Yes.
Commissioner Langria?
Yes.
Mayor Holtzman?
Yes. Next, we have public hearing 2018-044. That's an ordinance of the City of Ventnor, amending Chapter 149 of the Code of the City of Ventnor, requiring certain rental units to obtain mercantile licenses. Do I have a motion to open public hearing?
Motion to open public hearing on ordinance 2018-044.
Do I have a second?
Second motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
This is now open to the public, if anyone would like to speak. I see none. Do I have a motion to close public hearing?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next is the ordinance 2018-044, an ordinance of the City of Ventnor, amending Chapter 149 of the Code of the City, requiring certain rental units to obtain mercantile license. Do I have a motion?
Motion to adopt ordinance 2018-044.
Do I have a second?
Second motion?
Lisa, roll call, please.
Commissioner Kriebel?
Yes.
Commissioner Langria?
Yes.
Mayor Holtzman?
Yes. Next is public hearing 2018-045, and that's the ordinance of the City of Ventnor, County of Atlantic, State of New Jersey, authorizing 2019 through to 2022 salary, wages, and compensation for the members of the Ventnor City Lifeguards. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
Motion to open public hearing on ordinance 2018-045.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Note
Abstain.
for the, Commissioner Langgraf will abstain. It's now open to the public if anyone would like to speak. I see none. Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close public hearing?
I'll second it. Lisa, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next is the ordinance adoption of 2018-045, which is the ordinance City of Ventnor, County of Atlantic, State of New Jersey, authorizing 2019 through 2022 salary and wages and compensation for the members of the Ventnor City Lifeguards. Do I have a motion to adopt the ordinance?
Motion to adopt?
I'll second it. Lisa, roll call, please.
Commissioner Kriebel?
Yes.
Commissioner Langria?
Abstain.
Mayor Holtzman?
Yes. Next, we have a public hearing on 2018-46, an ordinance of the City of Ventnor, County of Atlantic, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 122 Fire Prevention, Article 3, Section 129-19, Fees and Services. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
Motion to open public hearing on ordinance 2018-046.
Do I have a second?
Second motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
It's now open to the public. Would anyone like to speak? I see none. Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, where am I? Next is am I on the last one?
No. Yeah.
I know, I
No,
saw that.
adoption, you
Yep, I moved my mouse quicker than I wanted to. Jeez. Adoption of the ordinance 2018-046. Do I have a motion to adopt the ordinance?
Motion to adopt ordinance 2018-046.
Do I have a second?
Second motion?
Lisa, roll call, please.
Commissioner Kriebel?
Yes.
Commissioner Langria?
Yes.
Mayor Holtzman?
Yes. Next is our public hearing on 2018-047, and that's the ordinance of the City of Ventnor, County of Atlantic, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 122 Fire Prevention, Article 2, Section 122-16H, additional inspection and fees. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, it's now open to the public. Anyone like to speak? I see none.
Motion to close?
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have the ordinance adoption, 2018-047. Do I have a motion to adopt the ordinance?
Motion to adopt ordinance 2018-047.
Do I have a second?
Second motion?
Lisa, roll call, please.
Commissioner Kriebel?
Yes.
Commissioner Langria?
Yes.
Mayor Holtzman?
Yes. Next, do I have a motion to open to the public? That anyone like to speak on the resolutions that we will be voting on next? Do I have a motion?
Motion to open public comment on resolutions only.
Do I have a second?
Second motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone from the public like to speak? I see none.
Motion to close?
Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Next is a motion to adopt resolution 2018-407 through 2018-423 by consent. Do I have a motion?
Motion to adopt resolutions 2018-407 through 2018-423 by consent.
Do I have a second?
Second motion?
Lisa, roll call, please.
Commissioner Kriebel?
Yes.
Commissioner Langria?
Yes.
Mayor Holtzman?
Yes. Next, we have approval of bills and payrolls. Lisa, will you give us those numbers, please?
Certainly. We have payroll from 12/16/18 through 12/31/18 in the amount of $513,941.28. And we have bills in the amount of $1,606,123.97.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve bills and payrolls?
Motion to approve bills and payroll.
Do I have a second?
Second motion?
Lisa, roll call, please.
Commissioner Kriebel?
Yes.
Commissioner Langria?
Yes.
Mayor Holtzman?
Yes. Next item on our list, agenda is announcements and the safety report. I see there's a safety report, yes?
Yes.
Okay, Commissioner Kriebel, would you like to give that to us?
Sure. City of Ventnor, December 2018 report. The Safety Committee met on Wednesday, December 12th. Open claims report reflecting activity reported through November 30th. The results were 1 general liability, 0 property, and 2 workman's comp, both of which were listed as medical only. The updated MSI training schedule was presented, and Ventnor will be hosting bloodborne pathogen and hearing conversation training. The Wellness Monthly newsletter dealt with holiday topics ranging from shopping, depression, weight gain, drinking, and healthy desserts.
No desserts, healthy.
Okay. The 2019 safety calendars were distributed to all department attendants. Closing out 2018, there was limited activity, which sometimes is a good thing. Safety meetings were scheduled for 2019, and have a safe holiday season.
Great, thank you. Okay, commissioners and myself, do we have anything that we want to speak about?
Just a couple updates. We are looking at, and Maria, you were in this meeting with City Engineer Ed Stinson regarding the Vector jet truck combination. We're going to look into purchasing. Right now, we have our issue with our storm drains. They're filled with leaves, specifically this time of year in the fall, and other debris. We have a small Vector towable unit that's not big enough to handle the problems we have. So we have a jet truck that does our sewer lines. They have ones that are combination jet truck that can be used for sewer lines, not water lines, storm drains, and has a Vector attached to it. It's much bigger, it's more expensive, but our truck has value. So we're going to look at trading that in and getting another one. It'll be part of their capital improvement work. So, but it can help with prepping for storms.
Right.
We go out and we do a maintenance program, and actually the maintenance of the storm drains is going to get moved from the public works section and moved into sewer and water, because those are the guys that use that vehicle.
Right.
So we're going to move that into a process with Ernie's department and have that move forward.
It's important.
It is.
That's important, because that causes more flooding that we don't need.
Yeah. We've had some minor utility issues, but here and there, we're repairing them as they pop up. Nothing major. The chlorination process is in the midst of its startup for the changeover. We were using pellets. We're going to move to a liquid process, so it'll be a lot safer and better for us. That process is moving forward. What else is there? I think that's about it.
I have one thing on the commercial trash collection. This is a good opportunity to update you. The ACUA is going to go back out again and check their list, go over it twice. And once they do that, we'll send out the letters to those businesses saying, effective April 1, we will not be collecting trash from them.
Okay.
So I just wanted to let you know that they're going to do a double check on the list they gave me, and then we'll get the letters out.
Great.
But for all intents and purposes, April 1 is the date, and I know it's been reported on by Down Beach. So hopefully the businesses are reading that and getting a heads up on it.
I do have one other thing, and I spoke to Ed Stinson again and Ernie about this earlier this week. Currently in our ordinance, when a new home is built, the sewer and water department goes out and they look at the lateral connections for the sewer and water. If they are old, most of them are, lead corporations for the water and terracotta plate for the sewer, they require the property owner, the new owners, to replace them at their cost. They kind of wanted us to make sure we were aware of that, so when people call us and complain about that cost, that extra cost, that is on them. It's not maintenance of it. We handle maintenance.
Right.
This is a preventative thing that when the new home comes in, we should replace those corporations and those service lines so we don't have problems down the road. After we pave a street, and these old corporations will vibrate loose. As soon as we pave a street, you'll have to dig it up and repair it. So it's a little bit added cost for a new home, but it certainly lessens our costs down the road for repairs.
Well, an existing home, if that gets damaged, the homeowner pays for it.
No. If it's in the street, it's our responsibility to
It comes from the
maintain.
house.
It's behind the curb is the homeowner's curb to the center, to the main is us. But if it's a new one that needs to be put in,
Right.
that's on the homeowner.
Right.
So, and that's in our ordinance now. It's nothing new.
Right.
It's just something that they've received some pushback, and they want to make sure we're aware of how we're handling it. So they gave me an update this week on that, because they've had a couple of issues where it's been required. One, it's safer, and it's health safety wise from a lead in our system situation. You have these old lead corporations that can be a problem. So that's why we test our water all the
It's better for
time.
them to replace it.
And we
It's gonna
have-
break eventually.
We have really good water here, so Everything's tested very well, so we're in good shape.
Really good.
You're all up to date.
Commissioner Kriebel?
Not as many updates, but two projects that I've been working on. The website is moving along to the final phases. The police department is the last to get their items in, and they're working to get that in. Should be in the next couple of weeks, and we'll be able to get our first draft of the website soon. And then the pier building, Ed Stinson has been helping getting a survey with the DEP, I guess, for Army Corps. Yeah. To get to that next phase, so that we know that we are 100% in compliance before we start the bid out process for the new building. So that he's moving forward.
Now, that should be done.
And that should be the last step.
Season, right?
Yes, as long as the DEP's, or the Army Corps helps us with that survey and moves quickly. I think, from what I've spoken to, it's not that large a building, so it can be built.
Yeah, it's in the same footprint as the original one, so
It's very small. The polar bear plunge.
It's the president.
On President's Day?
Yeah, President's Day week, excuse me.
Right, so the VBA is putting that
President's
on.
Day weekend.
It's gonna be it's gonna be held at, the library, beach, and
Yeah, and then St. James.
then
Hall.
St. James Hall will have a pancake breakfast and a
Chili
chili
cook-off.
cook-off. So the fire department is supporting that. That's the other thing, the VBA, I do have, a meeting to get, sort of a year in review with the VBA, all the things they've done and all the things they want to continue to do. So they've been a really good, asset, I think, to the city.
So Tim, you will have more specific information to report on in regards to the polar bear plunge, but I know there were some comments about why not New Year's
Yeah.
Day like usual, so.
Yeah, I mean, they were looking to, to make a different event for us, for the city. A lot of people do it on New Year's Day. Roberts is very popular, that area, so this will be something in addition.
Right.
Something else.
I think it's a great change up.
I think
CI does one in February
Yeah,
as well.
they do
I'm
one
not
like
sure.
17th or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure they're big,
Exactly.
but they do something in February as well.
Right,
so-
yeah.
They can go to both.
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. They want to be a polar bear, they can do it twice this year.
I think the mayor should be the first one in the water.
That's not nice.
I've done-
Only
I've
if you
done a
come
couple.
with me, I'll do it.
I've done it a few times.
Yeah, the deputy. Right, can we
Part of your-
get back?
Your duties as deputy mayor.
Yeah, just show.
Nice.
There's- Okay.
Okay.
Well, considering I have finance and tax, I don't have the fuzzy stuff, the fun stuff, or the very technical things. But, finance, I love finance. I get excited over numbers, but,
Touches every
Make
hand.
sure the camera just picked up my eye roll.
I know, I do, I love numbers. My finance, my tax, they've all done a great job. And hopefully our budget will, I know we're ending the year okay,
Yes, we are.
right?
Yes.
Thank God.
I'm looking for some additional revenues still in current. Water sewer is good. It will be self-sufficient at the end of the year, by the end of the year. And current should be good too. I'm hoping the tax sales brings in some additional revenues because we could use those.
How did we do with the, or you, Lisa, you would know. How did we do with the beach bags, the summertime, the holiday beach bags? Did
It's
we do-
going well, yeah.
Did we sell a nice amount?
Yeah. I forget how many now. I did know. I forget. I'm
So it was
sorry.
pretty good?
Yeah, we did.
They're really pretty.
Last I looked was about 288.
Oh,
which
good.
is
Great.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
good.
That's
Badges,
good.
288 badges?
288,000.
Just, wait,
288.
for the Christmas season? Right
Well,
now?
no, in
Yeah,
total,
okay.
all of it,
Right.
yeah.
We did good. We
Yes.
did much better.
That's an increase,
Our
right?
That is
revenue.
a-
Yeah.
Yes.
See, the systems work.
Along with parking.
And, I mean, parking.
Parking revenue's
wow,
up,
that
beach
is
badges up.
Substantially up.
Yes, yes,
That's pretty good,
yes, good, good.
We paid that off, right?
yes.
Yep, and it's paid off. I love it.
Parking's paid off, meter was paid off,
Yes.
All-
That's
all
awesome.
good
In a year.
stuff, yeah.
Uh-huh.
year and a half.
Yeah,
That
it's good.
revenue more than tripled, so which is really
That's good.
It's
Yeah.
worth all the yelling and screaming we get at.
To tell you the truth, I think the business owners have started to realize what the meter's purposes are. Not only to get a little bit of revenue for us.
Exactly.
but it's a turnover thing
Exactly.
for the business districts.
They're asking for the meters.
Yeah, they see the benefit of them now, because someone's not parked there for 8 hours.
Exactly.
Now they're getting people there every 2 or 3 hours, and their customers are enjoying that.
Right.
And one thing, and I'll put it out there, make sure everybody's aware that you've got 5 minutes free.
Yeah.
I was at bike shop, I don't know, 4A bikes, I mean, and I hit the button, and the woman says, "What are you doing?" I said, "You get 5 minutes for free." I said, "I didn't know that." I said, so we gotta make sure that's out there.
I actually, in the beginning, went into the stores and said, tell your customers they get 5 minutes, like dry cleaners
Right.
and places
Right,
like that.
right.
Most
Yeah.
of the time, yeah.
Okay, good.
And also the ambulance fees is not exactly where we want it to be, but it's better than where it was even last
Okay.
month.
Good.
We are about 23,000 from our break-even point.
Right.
And I hope to get some checks in tomorrow, hopefully that we can take to the bank and maybe close that gap a little bit more.
We've
And
kept
then
a
we-
vigorous email chain.
Yes,
to
good.
To make sure
Good.
you're aware that.
And next
Good
year,
work with
yes.
that, that's good,
Yes.
keep on top of that,
So I
excellent.
have those.
Tora, what if they come in Monday? Does it count? If they come in Monday, does it count?
If they come in Monday, I will
Yes,
be running
because
to
of
the
that.
bank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Up
I
until
told her
31st.
Friday because I wanted to be in Friday. I didn't want her to wait till the 31st.
Yeah.
Right.
So
You don't have the remote capture? Do you have
We
that?
do.
You do,
We
okay.
do, but you know,
Mm-hmm.
if everybody's gone, I don't have one at my
Yeah, yeah,
computer.
yeah.
I will make it to the bank.
Yeah.
But
Sounds
it's
good.
interesting to me that even though we're gonna be on track, close to on track for this year, there's still a lot that is to be processed for this
Yes.
year that would be, that if it were done in a timely manner,
Would have
we would have
been over and
been
beyond.
over and beyond by a lot, by
So it'll be additional revenue not budgeted next year.
Yeah.
Right, but
We're gonna
it
see.
helped your budget next year.
I know.
It hurts.
That, I know.
It hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Okay.
All right. Guess that's it. So the last item is, do I have a motion to open public comment?
So moved.
Second?
Second motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone like to speak about anything? I see none. Do I have a motion to close?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We do not have an executive session, am I correct?
No executive.
Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Adjourn.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year,
Happy
everyone.
New Year!